Radio.
Haha. Turn me up a little bit.
Yo, turn radio.
Haha. What you know about it? Haha. What you know about it? I said a hip hop, the hip.
Our class of WTF. What the, you know the rest. I'm one of your hosts, JoDee, joined by the lovely and talented Miss Kenitra Jordan. So what's going on, partner?
Nothing much. I am happy to be here as always.
Good. We've got a great show for y'all tonight. We've got two women of horror coming up, Miss Kenya Moss-Dyme and Miss Deb K. Mason. And I can't wait to get spooked by these two ladies because they bring it as far as horror goes. We're going to be talking to two ladies of horror, Kenya Moss-Dyme and Miss Deb K. Mason. So stay tuned.
And don't forget our books of the week. In the Belly of the Mountains by our very own D.K. Mason. 5 childhood friends with a shocking secret escape for a weekend getaway to the eastern Kentucky coal mining town of Blass, where their world collides with a centuries-old legend come to life. And also Daymares, a collection of 7 disturbing little tales of terror by Kenya Moss-Dyme. Both of these books are available for you at Amazon.com. And of course, their links are on our WTF with Kenitra and JoDee is brought to you by Joe Ken Publications, where integrity and great stories just come together. Look for upcoming novels from JoDee and Kenitra Jordan coming the first of the year. 2015 is going to be the year of Joe Ken.
All righty, we're back. Let me introduce, and it is a pleasure for me to introduce, the lovely and talented Miss Kenya Moss-Dyme and also the lovely and talented Miss Deb K. Mason. Take it away, KJ.
Hey, guys, are you there?
Hey.
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
Was that a wolf howling that I heard?
Welcome. It was.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought that was. I thought it was appropriate because Deb's, your profile picture on Facebook right now looks like a werewolf. So I really thought that would,
Did you
Very
really just make Deb K's profile pic look like a werewolf? Really? Really?
What? Wait. It's not her picture. It's not her picture.
Yeah, it's her new one, the one she just put up there.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you cleared that up. But, Kenya, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
Well, as you know, I just released Daymares, which is, it's not really my first, it's kind of my second. Patchwork was my first work of horror, even though that's a short story. Daymares is my first full collection of horror. And horror is really where my heart is. That's what I like to write most. So after I released, Pray for Me and A Good Wife, which were a little bit different, I wanted to just concentrate on, doing something that I really enjoy more than anything else. And I've got more to come, working on other things for, the new year. And then I'm still going to do some thrillers and, possibly some erotica and so forth. But my first favorite is, the scary stuff.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy horror books. So, I can't wait to dig into Daymares because I actually just got it, to be honest with you. I'm going to be probably starting this weekend. So I can't wait.
Okay, cool. Cool. I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
Oh, I will definitely let you know.
God.
Okay, Deb K, you're up.
Yes. Well, I started out with In the Belly of the Mountain, and then after that we had Back in the Belly of the Mountain. So in October, I combined both books, which are available. And I just love horror. You know, that's where I'm at right now. And I've got some exciting things coming up that I'm looking forward to besides that.
Great. I mean, tell me, what kind of inspires you to write some horror stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of creepy. Did you have, like, you know, visions of clowns growing up as a child, and were you scared of clowns and stuff like that? Or did you just have a vivid imagination? I mean, because women who write horror is kind of different to me. So give me your background.
I grew up in the mountains, which the novel is based on, and there really wasn't too much to do. So I, you know, other than me going to the library because I'm an avid reader and reading books, and I just started entertaining myself with stories, and it went on from there. And I love creepy stuff, anything scary. I tend to be a prankster, you know, scaring people. So I think that's got a lot to do with the books. I'm able to scare people without anybody getting mad at me because you know what you're getting into when you get the book. So it's just something that I enjoy doing, and I've always enjoyed scaring people.
Why?
So, why?
Now, I understand that the two of you have something cooking together. You and Kenya have teamed up on something. Can you, you know, just kind of talk about how did you guys come together to work on something?
How did that happen, Deb? I don't even remember. We just started talking about some of our common pains we were going through in the publishing industry, and it just kind of branched off. You know, we seem to think alike. That's one thing. Deb and I talk almost every day, probably for hours, you know, in messages, and we constantly say the same things. You know, we'll be talking, and I'll say something. Yeah, we'll be typing at the same time, and we'll both say the same thing. Like, what do you think about this? It's like, I was just about to say that. We just really think alike. So it was a natural progression to think we need to work on something together.
And the funny thing about how I met Kenya, when I read Patchwork, I just went crazy because it reminded me of my childhood and watching my mother sew, and she seemed so similar to my writing, similar but different. And I said, wow, you know, I want to meet this author. And I happened to go on my reviews, and there she was giving me a review, you know, and I said, oh, I was a fan of hers, and so we just progressed like that. I couldn't wait to meet her, but I met her for the first time in my reviews. So, and it's just gone on from there, but it just cracks me up the way we were typed at the same time. I mean, we're looking, it's almost the identical message, so it was just natural.
Wow. Sounds like y'all had instant chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got a few things that we're going to be working on, a few things that we're talking about. So, yeah, look for that.
Well, could you give our listeners a little heads up?
Well, we're really trying to, I know there's a lot more urban horror authors out there. I know there is. I mean, we found a few. We found quite a few. There's some Facebook groups, but a lot of them are really wide. I mean, they cover paranormal, sci-fi, supernatural. They cover a lot. And it's just really hard to get everybody to come together to try to, you know, get to know each other. So I think that's another thing that really bound Deb and I, because we're both, you know, women, and we're both writing horror, and we're both, you know, obviously African American, and it was really hard trying to reach other people. Now we've identified some others, you know, and we've got some collaborations coming up that are part of this group. I don't know, Deb, should we say the names of our next upcoming project for the winter?
Sure, Winter's
You don't
Chill.
have to.
Cool.
Yeah, we have a collection coming out. Winter's Chill, and that's with right now it's with a group of us. There is myself, Deb, Cynthia Taylor, George C. Cook, and P.M. Barnes. Now, P.M. wrote Zombie Seed. George, what's the name of George's book? He's got that one about the army of the dead people. I have to get his name. I definitely have to get the name of that book so I can give him his honor. And, of course, Send-To is Game Tire.
Right.
Which is an amazing book. So we've got a collaboration coming up pretty soon. And
wow, that sounds like
Deb and I
it's
are working on some things. Yeah, we're really excited about that.
So Kenya,
now,
let me
when
ask
can we
you this.
expect? Sorry.
No problem. Let me ask you this, Kenya. With you being a veteran in the literary world, what do you feel about the way the publishing industry is going, especially in the urban genre? And I mean, you can even take the urban horror genre if you want. But how do you feel about the way the publishing industry is going right now?
Oh, my God.
Is it different than when you first jumped in than now?
Well, when you say when I first jumped in, I really just jumped into the urban industry earlier this year.
Okay.
I think what I've seen has been pretty consistent since I jumped into the urban industry this year. Now, prior to that, I was writing under another pen name, and it was for a more general audience, and it's very different.
How so?
I don't understand. Well, see, I don't know if it's because I wasn't as involved before. I didn't get as involved. I didn't really get to know people the way I do now. I wasn't on social media the way I am now. So I don't want to, say that that's the reason. Maybe I'm seeing it more up close now because I've gotten to know people and spent a lot of time talking to people. I didn't do that before. But then maybe that's another thing because they didn't spend so much time trying to get to know you and what's going on in your life and build these types of relationships and, start problems. Here, I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird. I've seen some things that it makes me concerned about the future of urban publishing, really.
Exactly.
But you know what?
Like what?
It's fixing itself. I got to say that. It's fixing itself, and that makes me happy to see because you know what? You can only oppress people for so long. People do fight back, and that makes me very happy to see that happening. And that makes me hopeful for the future of urban publishing. I hate all of the backbiting, all of the stuff where, people are, like I like to say, there's publishers who should really be working at McDonald's and they should not be publishers. And nothing wrong with working at McDonald's, but I'm saying they should not be running companies and they should be doing something else. But because they were able to convince other people to, give them their books and let them upload them, and now they're basically taking advantage of those people. And that's not right. But, you can only oppress people for so long. Eventually everybody fights, and that's a beautiful thing to see, and it's happening right now.
So with what you just said, what would be the best advice that you could give to somebody who is starting out now in this business?
I hate to use, an overused phrase, but do your research. And you know what? That's not even always the answer because I did my research, but the answers weren't out there because people were afraid to talk. And I did my research. I searched. I used Google, and I did everything, but people were afraid to talk, so there was nothing there. So even doing your research doesn't always save you, but I think you need to ask more than a couple of people. You need to ask 50 people. I think that's where I made my mistake. I asked one person. I saw one person.
Right.
I pinpointed this person that I thought was very successful. Well, she was successful, but I thought her opinion was going to be enough. Where I should have asked 10 more people, 20 more people, and then that would have gave me, a little more to make my decision, and I probably would have chosen differently. So that's the biggest thing. Don't just settle with one person. Don't just get one person's opinion. Ask, as many people as you can on their opinion of that person that you're thinking about signing with.
Deb, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, you just got quiet there.
Oh, yes. No, I'm here. I agree. That's how me and Kenya met, as a matter of fact. was through this, through our publisher. So that was the positive about it. But unlike her, I can't say that I wasn't warned. But at the time I was thinking, people usually, I didn't think the publisher would be important as long as my work was out there and that my work would speak for itself. That was my thinking, and it was the wrong way to do. So you have to really listen to people that's been in the industry a lot longer than you have. Go to the vets, as I would say. So,
I definitely agree with that.
Yes, listen, But, you live and learn. And so.
And that's the best thing.
I wanted to back up. Hold on, JoDee. Kenya said something a little while ago that shocked me. Kenya, did you say that you're going to be working on an erotica book?
Well, A Good Wife is erotica.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, because you have some steamy scenes up in there.
So I'm constantly asked to do more, to continue that story. And that wasn't my plan in the beginning, but I'm constantly asked to do that. And that's probably in the future I may do that. I am going to do that. I'm not going to say may. I am going to do that. I'm going to continue it. One more, but that's it. I'm not going to turn it into a series. But there is one more book to complete that. And, that's probably a couple more things on the side. You know what the weird thing is? The book that I'm most proudest of is Daymare, but A Good Wife has always been the most popular book. People like the freaky stuff. That's just the bottom line.
Yes, they do. But I think Daymares will get there eventually. But like you said, people like the freaky stuff.
They do.
And now that I know that you're going to write some more erotica, maybe I can get like a little team up with you one of these days.
Hey, you're the master, so you are the master of erotica, so I need to be tapping into your brain.
If only that were true. But thank you for saying
please.
that.
I started reading Sugarland at work. I had to stop. Just a few pages in, I was like, this is not for work material. This is not work reading material. I'm going to save this for later. Like coming out the gate, I was like, whoa, let me close this up.
I know, right? The first chapter, like the first couple of pages, and it's just like, oh, okay, I got to close this. I have to put this up. This is not something. I tried to read it with the 2-year-old around. I was like, oh, no, we have to put this up for now.
You ladies. But coming up, we're gonna get Kenya Moss-Dyme's opinion and also Deb K. Mason's opinion on our main show topic tonight. Is cheating inevitable in a relationship? Coming up.
Okay.
Callers, get ready. Everybody get ready.
And tune in next Wednesday, December 17th, 9 o'clock p.m., where we will have Clever Black, originally from New Orleans, uprooted due to Hurricane Katrina, and now resides in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Ortesia Johnson from Dillon, South Carolina, now living out in Cali. Read their full bios and get the links to their books and websites on our Facebook page, WTF with Kenitra and JoDee. Next week's topic, the 90-day rule. Should I or shouldn't I? All right. So this week's topic, you want to go ahead and talk about what we're doing today, JoDee? Go ahead and introduce all that.
Sure. This week's topic is a juicy one. Is cheating inevitable in your relationship? It's funny because it seems like most marriages, or what do they say, half of marriages now, actually it's over half of marriages right now, end in divorce. And of that divorce, 85% is infidelity. I was reading something in Bloomberg Business Week today, and it says women are starting to cheat almost as much as men. I mean, it's getting out of hand. Everybody's cheating. Everybody's not happy at home. But my question really is if your spouse or your significant other cheats on you, does that necessarily mean you have to leave? You have to kick them to the curb. I mean, some of these reasons why people are cheating is like close friends are getting closer. People are taking business trips, and they're getting freaky in the hotel when they're away from their family. People are running across old flames. A lot of people are just sexually bored at home. There's a high percentile of just people cheating because of revenge on their partner, because their partner cheated. So basically what I want to know, and I want to know from Kenitra, from Kenya Moss-Dyme, and from Deb K, and from all of the callers out there, do you think cheating is inevitable? Or do you think you can be in a healthy relationship and not cheat? Hit me up, KJ. What you think?
It's really funny. We must have read some of the same articles on this because I did read that as well. But what I thought was interesting was I came across this article that said that men tend to get more upset if their wife has sex with someone else outside of the relationship because they know that for a woman to sleep with someone else means that they had to get their feelings involved because women don't tend to just, we don't just tend to hump and dump, so to speak. But they were saying
that
women
hump and dump.
I'm just saying.
Definitely.
That is utter crop and crap.
But they said that women tend to be more able to forgive their husbands if it was just sex. But women have a really hard time forgiving their mate or their spouse or their lover for infidelity if they find out that there was an emotional connection. And that's because men don't tend to be emotional creatures. You all tend to be the ones who hit it and quit it. So, there we go. My opinion thus far.
Okay. Deb K, what do you think?
I can say a mouthful about this. I don't agree that it's just the men that's cheating because when I first got married, I was shocked at the female friends I had that were creeping. And I would be around the husbands, and I knew that they wasn't, so that was really an eye-opener. And I don't know, I just think it has to do with the person more than the gender. Some people are just, they're going to do it regardless. They can be perfectly happy at home, but they're still going to cheat regardless, So I don't understand it. I didn't have that problem during my marriage. I couldn't imagine, but, it would be funny because a lot of times my husband would ask me, how come you don't go out with such and such anymore? And the reason was because, I knew what they were doing, and I wasn't, I wasn't going to tell him they're a cheater and they're out there. But, yeah, and this was like 20-something years ago, almost 30.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't agree that it's just the men.
Kenya?
Well, to the question whether or not it's inevitable, I don't think it's inevitable. I think people make a conscious decision to cheat. We're not dogs in the street. Dogs walk up and down the street and decide to jump on whatever available hole they see if they're in heat. We don't have to do that. We make a decision about what we want to do. It's definitely something that you can choose to not do. People choose to do whatever they want to do because that's the society we live in, where we think we should get whatever we want at whatever cost. And it doesn't matter who it hurts, as long as we get what we want. That's the way we are. Maybe that's just the way humans are. I don't know. But I think you make that decision. It's still up to you. Even if you become attracted to someone outside of your marriage, you still make that decision about how far you're going to go with it.
So you don't think things just happen? You think it's always a conscious decision?
It's always a conscious decision. Anything you do is a conscious decision. It's not an illness that you just come down with. You make a decision to go through with it. And I was married for over 20 years to a serial cheater. Okay, during that time, I became a serial cheater. I became emotionally attached to other people during that time. I had to make a decision about how far I was going to take it, and I decided not to do what he was doing. I came close, but I still had to make the decision that I didn't want that on my soul, even though I might have wanted to. Everything is telling me, go for it. Why not? He's doing it, but I still had to decide at the end, I'm not going to do that, and I'm glad I didn't, because that's not something I have to live with.
Wow. I was reading something that was talking about how it's kind of going along with what you said, Kenya, that a lot of times when women cheat, it's more of an emotional type situation. Emotional cheating is usually how it starts out for the women, whereas men tend to cheat in search of sex.
Mhm.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. But I think you can have a relationship where, I don't know. You know what, Kenya and Deb, we have been talking. JoDee, what do you think?
I think it's time to let some callers in and find out what they think.
Exactly.
And see, and that's just the man's way of trying to get out of it. Let me go ahead and get somebody on the line here. Hi, caller. Did you have a question or a comment?
Comment. Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
Hey, this is Patrick. Sitting here with my sister and nephew listening in.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, hi everyone. I think people can go without cheating, and I believe there's a lot of couples out there do, but we don't pay attention to what's in our mind is boring. So I believe every one of us on this line right now know a couple that's been together, and I know what happens behind closed doors. We don't all know, but you can tell when a couple is really happy together. But we don't talk about that. We'll talk about that one couple where somebody did step out and cheat, and it got known, where the word was out that person was cheating.
Right.
And I also believe that when people make a commitment, they really do want to be there for each other. I think one or the other spouse or significant other may push the other one to cheating without always accusing them of something they're not doing. So eventually they'll say, well, she think I'm doing it anyway. I might as well when I have this opportunity, So I think people get pushed to cheating more than just saying, like a dog standing at the door ready to go out and run, like I can't wait to get out the house so I can go cheat. I think you have less of those type of people and more of the ones who don't cheat. Okay. The ones who don't cheat and actually hold on to it or eventually get pushed to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great comment. Great comment.
All right. Thank you so much.
Next
We're going to go ahead and bring our next person on the line with their question or comment. Caller, you're on the line. Do you have a question or a comment?
I have a comment.
Hello? Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
What's your name?
Hi. My name is Kim. How are you all doing today?
Good. How are you, Kim?
I'm fine, thank you. Hello, Kenitra. Hello, everybody else.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Cheating is a conscientious thing. You can choose to do it. You can choose not to do it. Everybody fails to realize that cheating starts with the mind first. It starts with the mind before it becomes physical.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start listening with the mind, your body's going to do whatever you want it to do because our body doesn't respond without our mind. So you can make an effort not to cheat. You can, and there are couples out there that go 20 years without cheating. They may do it mentally, but they're not going to reach out and step out and hurt that person they love. But in our society today, who cares? Oh, well, it is what it is. They'll be okay. And then we're so quick to pick up a new slogan. It ain't nothing to cut that bleep off or anything else. And that's how we deal with it, and we don't deal with the emotional part of it. But the next person we intercept and we begin dealing with, they see where we're hurt. So if we got out of this 2014 concept of thinking, which is BS, this world would move a whole lot faster. If I'm a cheat, I'm a cheat. But anybody I deal with, I let them know. If you're going to cheat, let me know. That way you give me a decision on whether or not I want to continue to deal with it or we work on the issues that we have going on. Because You can be happy in the marriage and you can cheat, but somewhere in there, your wife or your husband is not doing something that they should be doing, which is why the other individual is seeking something out. But you decide what you want to do. But it first starts with the mind.
Good, great comment. I like that. Yeah. But I do have a question for you. Right. If someone tells you that they're going to cheat, it wouldn't be cheating then, wouldn't it?
Yes,
wouldn't
it would.
Open?
No.
Wouldn't that be an open relationship?
No, it's only open if that's what I agree to.
Who is brave enough to do that? People always say that. Just tell me. But if your other significant other came to you and told you, how are you going to react? Are you really going to sit down and have a discussion? Because somebody's going to be mad.
Oh, yeah. Some gunshots going to be flying.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's going to be mad, but somebody else is going to be a whole lot madder if that person that you step out with decides to come and tell you just to be spiteful and vindictive. I can take it a whole lot better from Barry. If Barry come tell me, this is getting old, I'm looking at somebody else, other than Lil Kelly comes and say, guess what? Girl, I had your man last night. I can tell you what your bed spread look like. So I'm going to be mad when Barry tell me, but let me deal with it with Barry. Don't try to embarrass me on the side street because Lil Kelly going to get mollywopped and Barry going to get his stuff packed up and it's going to be sitting outside on the corner. I'll tell people in the quickness. I will. Guess what? It ain't working. We're going to fix it, or it is what it is.
Well, all right now, Kim.
It goes back to in 2014. We want to sugarcoat things. If your clothes are ugly, tell me my clothes are ugly. If I'm ignorant, tell me I'm ignorant. Don't sit here and say, oh, baby, you just don't know what you're speaking about. No, I'm dumb, and I need somebody to correct me. We want to censor everything now, and that's the problem. When these coaches talk about the black players or they talk about the white players, they send them the sensitivity training. You're a racist from the word go, so why are you sending him the sensitivity training? You're wasting money. So if we get out of this foolish way of thinking and take it back to what it was 20 or 30 years ago, it would be a whole lot more happier people, whether it's with self or in the relationship.
Wow, I agree.
Okay.
Thanks for that comment.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in, Kim. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Good night.
You too.
Don't forget the 2 snaps, Kim, because she just read.
Yeah, she read everybody.
She read us.
But she brought it.
I know.
She kept it real. I like
We have another caller on the line. Caller, you have a question or a comment or both? Caller?
I think I have more of a comment than a question.
Okay. What's your name?
For me, I feel like I don't necessarily believe that's inevitable, but I feel like there has to be, at least for a female, there has to be more than I think I like the way he looks, or I like this. There has to be an emotional connection, because I know for me, I'm young. I'm 23 almost, and even though I've come to a head in this 2014 way of thinking, I'm an old head, really. So the way I think about everything is kind of, I guess, that 20-plus years backward mentality. I want you to give it to me straight, and I'm going to do the same thing for you. As long as you communicate with me and you don't make me feel disrespected or undervalued, then we good. Otherwise, we'll have a problem, and either I'm going to try and explain it to you how I feel, and either you take it right or you don't, but I'm going to react to however you react. What you get is what I give you. There is no, oh, it's okay, and I keep it rolling. No, you're going to get what you give me. And then when you realize what I did, you're going to be like, wait a minute, hold up. Maybe I can get some act right about it. And if you don't, then you can keep it moving. If you do, then we go back to the way we were. It's one of those kind of things for me. I don't feel like it's inevitable, but if you take it there, we can go there.
So, Carla, let me ask you this. As you stated that you were in the 23, in the 20-something range, early 20-something range, age plays a part in cheating, or do you think it really doesn't matter? Do you what I'm asking is, when you're young, do you tend to cheat more than you do when you get older because you're still experienced in life, so to speak? So it's hard to be kind of tied down to one person when you're like 23? You know what I mean?
It depends on how fast you grew up, or if you grew up at all. Because I know 40-year-olds who still act like they're 17. I know 23-year-olds who act like they're 50. So it really just depends on your mentality. Your state of mind is everything.
Okay. Good points.
Wow.
I mean, it really just depends. It depends on what you get in relationships for. It depends on if you're on the same playing field as your significant other. It depends on. There needs to be a serious conversation had before you get in a relationship with anybody, because sometimes you think you're in a relationship and they don't even know you're supposed to be in a relationship. So it's all about the main reason I think a lot of relationships fall apart is lack of communication. If you're not communicating exactly the way you need to, then this stuff gonna get missed and run over and everything else. But everything gonna be laying in the ditch, and your relationship gonna end up in the same ditch everything else ended up in if you don't talk it out. Everything needs to be laid out on the table.
I totally
So if
agree.
you're in a relationship and you feel like you need to have that conversation because you think you're going to cheat, and you go to that person and tell them, and they don't do anything about it. So why not just end the relationship, and then you can do whatever you want to do, rather than, okay, I cheated, I told you I was going to cheat, and you didn't do anything.
Because sometimes, I know for me, the age that I live in, me being 23, it's one of those, we gave you the opportunity to fix it, and you didn't. So now I either got to choose to give you another chance to fix it, or I'm going to do what I want, and then maybe it'll make you realize I was serious, and then you'll fix it. Or either you don't, and I'm going to walk. Sometimes we like to, not necessarily just throw it away, but try and give you the opportunity to fix it. Now, I personally am not going to just cheat on you and then be like, I did it, now what? I'm going to be like, look, either you do this or you get stepping. I don't feel like it's worth it for me to go around and around and around and around with you. Either you're going to do it or you're not. But, I mean, like I said, I have friends who will go, well, it's like this. Either you're going to fix this or I'm going to go to him and let him give me what I need emotionally, or emotionally and physically combined, and then I'll be back later. It's one of those kind of things. And either it's something that they have that you just want so bad that it works for you, or either you have made a compromise in your mind that it's the lesser of two evils to let them step out and come back and lose them altogether. And sometimes it's a level of self-worth mixed with a level of, can I ever live up to what this person needs, even though I want everything they have to offer. Sometimes you're not on the same playing field, and you got to step up or step down. It's one of those two things, and sometimes you can't pick which one, so you kind of waver in between the two, as long as you possibly can anyway.
Wow. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think cheating is inevitable. I do believe that you can get into a relationship, and like some of the other callers said, I think that you can stay with that person and you can be happy with that person for years. But I also think that it's one of those situations where you really have to work at your relationship. You're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Exactly.
Right.
I agree. I mean, you have to work at it. The problem with that happens a lot of times is really complacency. People get used to this, used to that. They let themselves go. They don't do the same things that they used to do. Next thing you know, 10 years has gone by, and now you got a boring sex life and a boring life. And you got to keep it spicy. You got to spruce up things. You got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it new. And basically, you got to keep doing things together. When you start doing things apart, I think that's where the cheating comes in. When you do them together, it's hard to cheat when your old lady's sitting right next to you. Just did. And vice versa.
Gotcha. Well, and I was also reading where they were talking about there are different levels to cheating. Like they were saying that before cheating ever becomes physical, that you can also have a situation of where you are emotionally cheating on somewhere as well. And they were saying that a lot of times it does begin emotional. And I know that that's what we were talking about earlier, Kenya, when we were saying as far as how a lot of times it gets started. And one of the examples that I saw with what I was reading was, you know, a lot of people talk about your work husband or your work wife or something like that. And they were saying that Usually this is somebody that you work extremely close with, you know, on a daily basis. And a lot of times, you know, you start to notice things happen over time, and they sit a little close to you during the meeting than what they should sit to you. And, you know, it eventually becomes a situation of, and I love this quote, so please let me say this. People who become involved in an emotional affair with some feel like something is lacking at home. It makes them feel good to feel understood and to feel desired. It's like candy. They go home and have their vegetables, but they come to work to have their dessert. I'm sorry, I like that one. I thought that was
all right.
I thought that was a great way to put it. Sorry, and it even goes further as to start telling you how you know when you're crossing the line. You know, when you dress up for that person. You know, when you find yourself telling that person things that you don't share with your spouse. When you are sharing your feelings of marital dissatisfaction, you are starting to cross the line as far as, you know, emotional to leading up to physical cheating.
Some people believe that emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating. I've heard that a lot. I've heard a lot of women say that, you know, just if my man or my husband just went out and had a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, that's different than if he went out and found someone and fell in love and they was having this torrid affair over the course of years or months or whatever, and he has feelings for her. So, I mean, there's like an emotional attachment. So some people definitely believe that emotional cheating, even if they haven't crossed the line physically, is worse than physical cheating. I'm a dude.
Right.
Physical cheating is worse than me.
Oh, gosh. Well, I had a friend who was involved in a relationship, and her husband cheated on her. And what he tried to use to justify it was the fact that he had established a relationship with this other woman, the mistress, and that it wasn't a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And he couldn't understand why she didn't find comfort in the fact that he wasn't sleeping with multiple women. He was just sleeping with that one. And he couldn't understand when she was trying to explain to him, yeah, you established a relationship with this woman. You established emotional ties with this woman. You gave a part to her that you weren't giving to me. And so that's why I think people feel like the emotional cheating is worse than just that wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, that, haha, JoDee, most men are known for doing. Sorry.
Well,
Women too.
I can tell you something that shocked me recently. I was told by this one who was trying to see me, and they married. He said that my marriage wasn't none of my business. That it was between me and him. You know, and my mouth just dropped. Do people really think like that?
I guess so.
You know, I look at it like, why get married in the first place if you're going to be out there? You know, like what was said earlier. Why not just end it and then form a relationship? I don't understand. So, but that right there, it just summed up for me how some people are just so casual about marriage or relationships.
You know, I think you just really have to be emotionally mature and responsible because, I don't think there's anybody on this earth that's going to be 100% compatible with you, you know, every day for 20, 30, 40 years. I don't think that person exists. That's basically a twin. I don't think, and even twins aren't 100% compatible. So you have to accept this is the person I want, and they're 75% of what I want in this world. Maybe that other 25% is walking around out there, but this is what I got, and this is what I'm going to keep. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get 100%. I don't think that's possible.
Right.
I think that was profound,
right.
Kenya. I think you should look for that 75%, and if you find that 75%, you better hold on to it because, like you said,
exactly.
I don't think that you're going to get 100% either. You know, I think the problem is people find their 75%, and then they don't nurture it, and it starts. Some of those percentages starts to leave a little bit, so it leaks down to 60, and then all of a sudden that 40% on any other yard looks better. but it just looks better because you haven't experienced it yet. I think the grass is greener plays a lot of roles in people cheating. I think a lot of times people always think the grass is greener because they haven't really laid in that grass yet. But once they have, they find out it's just as bad as my yard. You know what I mean? Generally, it never really works out. All
right, hold on, guys. We have another caller who has a question here. Let me go ahead and let this person on.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Corinto.
What's going on, Corinto?
Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, I think most people, I wanted to comment on, y'all was kind of touching where I was coming from. Most people are confused. Like, if you're treating a woman nice and you're doing everything, you know, you're supposed to be doing, she feel like she got you on lock, so, you know, she go do what she want to do, you know. And then, like, the guys who treat the woman wrong, you know, hitting or beating on her, not coming home, they don't, you know, you can't get rid of them. They don't go nowhere. And those
that is funny.
But yeah, I think that's how it is. You know, I think everybody will cheat, you know, if it comes to the right time and place anyway. You know.
So you do believe cheating is inevitable?
I mean, I don't think people going out to cheat, but, you know, if you not treating a woman right, let's say if she go on a business trip and, you know, and then she at the bar having a drink at the hotel and the guy come, you know, saying stuff that her husband don't say, and, you know, and he had been treating her wrong that weekend, they had just gotten an argument or something. I think, yeah, it can happen. You know.
And that's pretty much everybody, because every relationship you're going to have a weekend or a day or a week.
I think everybody will cheat. Everybody will cheat if it.
So it's based on opportunity, you're saying.
Everybody will cheat. Yeah, if it's the right time, right place, everybody will cheat.
Wow. So basically what you're saying is it's just about opportunity, time, place, and opportunity. Everybody's dropping them draws.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because everybody is going to get on your nerves. I mean, my kids get on my nerves, and I'm like, when are you moving out? You know, that can go on for days, and then a few days later, I love them to death again. So that's saying that everybody's going to do it.
Well, if he gets on your nerves one night, and you just so happen at your friend's bachelorette party, and some guy telling you. And one of the strippers flirting with you. And
now, Carito, are you a writer?
Yes, you're a cheat too.
Well, that's pretty depressing. That's like no hope at all. It's like, just give up hope. Abandon all hope, huh?
Because my mom been with my stepdad, you know, 37 years, and
oh wow,
and she almost cheated at one time.
Oh my God, you put your
Is that your mama in the background?
You putting your mama out there?
Oh, I'm his mom. I'm sitting here listening but I'm 57. I've been my husband now since I was 19. Never have cheated on him. It have been in my face, but I walked away because it's just not me, and everybody's not cheaters. And it's just cheaters once you cheat, you're gonna always cheat. I feel that way. And it's not even just worth the situation. So I've never cheated. I've been true.
Wow, 37 years. Give that lady some applause. Where the applause button is?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and always will be.
There you go.
Yes.
Hello.
Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, we're here. That is awesome to be with them that long. So you think then?
37 years. I know you had a lot of time when you didn't like each other.
We love each other, but I'm a big flirt, but it's not worth the cheating.
And tell y'all sleep in separate rooms.
So thank you. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Thanks for your comment.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right,
So this has been a rousing subject. Show went by pretty fast too.
Yeah.
So we would like to thank Miss Kenya Moss-Dyme and Miss Deb K. Mason for their participation. Go out and get daymares and what was the other one, Deb K. Mason? Mountains?
Belly of the mountain. Belly of the
Say
mountain.
it one more time. Say it one more time.
Belly of the mountain.
Belly of a mountain.
Yes.
Available on Amazon.
Yes.
And you can also find the link on WTF, our page.
Yes. Thank you guys for having us. We were your first guests.
Yes,
Yay!
we appreciate
Thank
it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. KJ, take it away.
All right, so just remember that next Wednesday, 9 o'clock, we will have Oticia. I have to say it like that so I don't mess up her name. Oticia Johnson and Clever Black will be with us, and the topic will be the 90-day rule. Should I or should I not wait? WTF with Kenitra and JoDee is brought to you by Joe Ken Publications, where integrity and great stories just come together. Look for upcoming novels from JoDee and Kenitra Jordan coming the first of the year. 2015 is going to be the year of Joe Ken.